Vitale, Vitale Wealth Management with this week's Gradient Investments Market Update. All the information is gathered as of the week of April 28th. Let's look at the week in review. Markets are strong today, so let's talk about, and they were also strong last week. The S&P 500 was up 4.6%. NASDAQ gained 6.73 and the Dow was up 2.52. Growth stocks, the Russell 1000 outperformed value stocks, Russell 1000 value, rising 6.78 and 2.31% respectively, and small cap stocks had their best week since January, climbing 4.1. Gold, meanwhile, paused its rally, ending the week slightly lower, but still up 24% year to date. It's still at about $3,350 per ounce. In housing, home sales posted their worst March since 2009 as rising mortgage rates and economic uncertainty kept buyers on the sidelines. Similarly, customer sentiment data released Friday came in weaker than expected, reflecting growing concerns about the economic outlook. I think everybody's still trying to digest the tariffs and see where we're at before they make any moves. Upcoming economic releases this week brings a wave of important economic data. Key reports will provide fresh insight into inflation, GDP, and the labor market. On Tuesday, the April 29th, the JOLTS report will offer an updated view of labor market conditions. On Wednesday, tomorrow, the investors will receive the first estimate of the first quarter 2025 GDP, as well as the PCE report that will give further clues about the inflation outlook. And on Friday, May 2nd, new unemployment data will be released. So far, we're seeing a little market rally right now because they're talking about some of the tariffs aren't going to affect so much of the suppliers on the automotive industry if most of the car was made here. So let's talk about market outlook. Major U.S. indexes found some relief last week after the president ensured his respect for the Federal Reserve's independence and signaled that trade talks with China and other countries are progressing. While no major trade agreements have been finalized, the market interpreted these developments as a sign of easing tensions, helping indexes finish the week in a positive territory. Meanwhile, earnings report season is in full swing. As the busiest period of reporting gets underway, earnings growth projections have improved. As of Friday, first quarter net income was expected to rise an average of 10.1% year over year from the 7% growth forecasted just a week earlier. It is a busy week ahead for the investors with a full slate of economic data releases and more high-profile earnings reports. Notably, companies like Visa, Microsoft, and Amazon and Apple, among others, are reporting. So let's see what kind of activity we've had in the gradient portfolios. There was activity in the buffered outcomes portfolio last week. There was a lot of tickers. I'm not going to go over all the tickers, but some of those were traded in and out. Also, stocks in the news, Alphabet, which is Google, owned in the Core Select, the G33, the G50 portfolios, and the Contrarian Choice, reported an earnings beat last week and highlighted its full stack approach into AI. All major business segments, cloud, search, and advertising posted growth. The stock gained 9.43% for the week, so that was really good. Also, we've got Procter & Gamble, which is owned in the G50 and Core Select portfolio. It's a consumer staple company, as you know. Reported earnings beat, but missed on revenue expectation. The stock was down 2.8% for the week after management cut its earnings forecast for the year due to tariff uncertainty and announced that price increases will likely happen. Although they did say, Procter & Gamble said about 80 to 90% of their products are made right here in the USA, so it's not really going to affect it that much. We're also starting to see a lot of countries, we're starting to see some potential deals coming, really optimistic with some parts of Asia and India. So once I think we see, and as you know, once we see some certainty on these trade deals, this is what happens. There's a lot of rhetoric going both ways. Going to be a lot of uncertainty. It's going to be a lot of fear. So unfortunately, people are pulling back on the sidelines until they see what happens. So it'd be nice to see some of these deals come through, and then they'll hopefully, God willing, open up the floodgates, and we're going to see some pretty good growth. But in the meantime, keep some cash on hand. Make sure we take not taking as much, selling a lot of stock right now, and taking it from the guaranteed buckets of money. If you need to get a hold of us, you know how to reach us, 855-756-5700. Or vitalewealth.com. Look at some of the events. Make sure you check your emails because we've got a lot of good things coming up. We've got a Top Golf event coming up. We've got golf outing coming up. We also have some lunch and learns that we're talking about. So there's a lot of great things that unfortunately, if the phone number comes through, we're trying to work on it. Some people were calling out and they say, oh my gosh, Joe, it was a spam call. Well, why is it spam? We don't know. So we're trying to work on that to make sure that add us as a not a spam call. So that's it. Hope God bless you. Hope you have a great week. We look forward to seeing you again next week.